Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kindred Coven. My name is Callista.
And my name is Jacob.
Today, we are doing our top 10 movies of 2025.
That's right, and we're just going to go right into it, starting with our number 10, which is One Battle After Another. How did you feel about it?
So, I will say, this movie at first, I wasn't liking it at first, but as I got more and more into it, it just got better and better. I will say a lot of it is because Benicio del Toro is just such a fantastic actor, and all of his scenes were really good. It was kind of as soon as he showed up that I was like, I'm gonna like this now. So, but it was good. It's in our top 10 for a reason. I thought, performances were good, the story was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as Benicio del Toro, well, he shows up a bit earlier, but like once the story gets rolling and he has an active part in the story, that's when I think it starts to get really good. I've seen several Paul Thomas Anderson movies before. I wouldn't say this is my favorite because I like Punch Drunk Love a lot, but this is like up there. It's really good, and it's definitely better than Licorice Pizza, which I thought was just okay.
Yeah, I have not seen any of his movies besides this one, and I'm kind of interested to check the others out. Um, but not something I'm like super eager to do. I'll get around to it.
My biggest criticism of the movie is just like how do you make a movie like this and then go out and be a Zionist? Because like Paul Thomas Anderson and Leonardo DiCaprio and the composer Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead, they're all big Zionists. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Yep, and it makes me want to limit all the praise I can give it, but I fully expect this movie to like win Best Picture at the Oscars.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either, definitely. Moving on to our number 9 pick, which is The Ugly Stepsister.
Yeah, so I am a big fan of body horror, and I thought this was a pretty great body horror movie. Like it takes the Cinderella story and gives it a dark twist with a lot of excellent costume design, and the production design in general is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as into body horror as you are. I mean, I like it, but I like this one a lot. I just thought, I know this is kind of a sinful thing to say, but we're not big fans of the substance. I think it's just a very shallow movie, and I think this movie did everything the substance was trying to do, but better. With, like, women's beauty standards and being a critique of that. This just has a lot more depth to it. I also just think it's a much more entertaining movie. I like the setting a lot more. I am a sucker for, like, a fairy tale with, like, a darker twist to it, so this movie was right up my alley.
I really hope we get more like this because it doesn't just use the body horror as shock value like a lot of modern body horror movies are doing. There's a lot to it, and I think overall it's just a pretty great movie, and I want to watch more from this director. Moving on to our number 8 pick, which is Mickey 17.
So, Mickey 17, I know people aren't a huge fan of this. They kind of found it to be a bit just like not what they expected, but we personally loved it. I think Robert Pattinson was incredible. As soon as like there's the two of them, this became so much fun. And he does a stupid little voice that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, this movie is so funny. As soon as the second Robert Pattinson shows up, it takes a lot of weird twists and turns, and I think a lot of people weren't expecting something like this. But
yeah, I think some people are taking this movie a bit more seriously than we're supposed to. It is a satire after all. So
yeah, it's very on the nose as well. There's very little subtlety about it, but I like it that way. is done very well in this movie.
I like the goofy little slug alien things. Those things are cool. I love
Yeah,
aliens, so
yeah, they're
anything with like
adorable.
aliens and sci-fi and stuff, it was just nice to get like a really nice sci-fi movie this year that like took place in space, you know.
Yeah, overall, pretty great movie.
Alrighty, moving on to our number 7 pick, which is Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah, so I watched the entire Final Destination series to get to this one. I was not expecting to like the series so much, but I just really liked the first one, especially. It got me into the whole series, and this new one is such a fantastic ending for Tony Todd as an actor. What a beautiful send off for him.
Yeah, I think, even if the rest of this movie is complete garbage, which thankfully it isn't, I still think it, maybe not top 10, but like top 15 for sure, just for that Tony Todd scene.
Yeah, he speaks directly to the audience in a way that is both moving and also perfectly fits the themes of the entire series about living your life to the fullest because you'll never know when it's going to end.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Yeah.
the entire character of Eric is like the greatest character in the entire series. He's so
He
funny.
was so hot. It's rare that oh my god. Yeah, Eric Campbell is a hottie. And I also think, I mean, spoilers, but it's a Final Destination movie. I'm sure you can guess what's going to happen to most of the characters, but one of the best death scenes in the series, I think, that I've seen.
Yeah, it is so funny. So ridiculous.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to our number 6 spot, which is Predator, Killer of Killers.
So we did a review on this earlier in the year, so if you want to hear us talk about it more in depth, I definitely recommend checking that out. We recorded that like pretty much right after we watched it. We really enjoyed this one, and I love seeing the Yachtja in different time periods, and all of the little short stories they had in this just were so good. I don't really know what else to say. It's just really great storytelling, even though they're all quite short. And spoilers, they all come together at the end in a way that we didn't expect. We just thought it'd be a couple like, oh, that's it, but no, it's all connected. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I think if there's one word to describe this movie, it's just badass.
Mm-hmm.
It has some of the coolest animated fight sequences I've seen in an animated film in a long time.
Yeah. I still think that first one, like the Vikings and stuff, was my favorite. That was just so cool.
Yeah, that was. Oh, it's so almost black metal in a way.
Yeah, and of course the animation itself is just incredible. It has a similar art style to stuff like Arcane, but this is better than Arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie. Check this one out if you haven't yet, for sure.
Which brings us to our number 5 pick, which is Predator Badlands.
So first things first, 5 and 6, these are very, very close. We were kind of swapping them around a bit before recording this video. I think I like this one just a tad bit more, though. I think, again, just getting to see, like, the Yachtja culture more, because we see them mostly as villains. I mean, there's been some times in, like, Alien versus Predator, where, they work with the humans, but just getting, like, more, like, about them, it just makes this movie alone, just for that stuff alone, it just helps the Predator franchise just feel so much more alive. And yeah.
I think this is the first time we've ever seen a Yachtja protagonist in a movie, which is really cool to see. And he gets exiled from his clan essentially and lands on another planet where he meets a Weyland-Yutani android, and they have an adventure.
Yeah, and then they meet this little creature that they name Bud, who's just this cute little guy, or a girl. I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl. I think it was a girl. But yeah, it's fun. I was a bit worried about, a Predator movie having the PG-13 rating because these movies are known for having pretty gnarly deaths. It still had a lot of great deaths because most of the people being killed in this are androids. So, yeah, it just works well. And it's honestly, it might be my favorite Predator movie, which I did not expect to ever say that.
Yeah, I think like this is definitely a script that you've seen before. It's not a very complex adventure movie, but like come on, it's so cool. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been thinking about it a lot recently because we just watched like a last week or something.
Yeah,
Um,
excellent
anyways,
movie.
yeah. Anyways, moving on to our number 4 spot, Begonia.
Yeah, the new Lanthimos movie starring Emma Stone, of course, and she is just fantastic in this. If you don't know what uh, it's about two cousins who are convinced that the CEO of this company is actually an alien, and so they kidnap her and try to prove it.
Yep. Um, it is a remake of a Korean film that neither of us have watched yet, but I'm really excited to check that out eventually. So I don't know if this is like a good remake of it or not, but it's certainly a good movie on its own. The performances from Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, and I cannot remember who plays the cousin in this movie, but he was also really great.
Yeah, I think it's his first role too, and he was incredible.
Yeah, the soundtrack also, ton of fun, so good.
Yeah, it's also weirdly funny. There's a lot of black comedy to it. They shave her bald.
Yeah, I've seen so many people like call this a comedy, and it's like before I watched it, like it doesn't look like a comedy, but now that I've seen it, it's like, oh, yeah. There's also the police officer character who was just like the stereotypical like stupid cop, and he was pretty funny too.
Yeah. And with that, we'll move to our number 3 spot, which is Wake Up Dead Man.
The new Knives Out movie. Yeah, I think this is my favorite Knives Out movie. It has been a while since I've seen the previous two, but I love those ones as well. So,
Yeah, so this new one has a way more serious tone to it. It takes itself way more seriously. And I think that's a good thing because it shows Benoit Blanc is such a mature character, and the way it handles religious themes is so well done. So much better than like any other religious film I've seen. I'm not calling this a religious film because it's not, but it's still such an interesting exploration. And I think I've thought about it way more than the first two Knives Out movie, which I both love, but this one has really stuck with me, and it might be my favorite as well.
the one issue I have with this movie is just the fact that I think the side and like supporting characters in this one aren't as strong as in the previous movies, but I do think like the characters that have larger roles are, for the most part, the best in the series.
Yeah, the only one I would disagree with, I guess, is Mila Kunis's character because she was not
Yeah,
a great actor,
yeah, I forgot
but
about her
she's
character to be
fine.
honest. So
Yeah, but the
she's
side characters, like you said, they don't contribute too much, but they still fit so well with the themes of the movie, and especially like Kaylee Spaney's character doesn't get a whole lot of screen time, but having someone like her who donated all her money to the church in a desperate attempt to get herself cured, like it makes sense to have a character like that.
yeah, yeah. I don't think they're bad at all. It's just other ones are stronger, but still really good. I love that it has some. It's definitely a gothic movie, so and we love that stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's a huge plus.
yeah, for sure. Moving on to our number 2 spot, Superman.
Superman. Oh, what a incredible movie.
So I'm a lifelong DC fan. You know, in my 28 years of life, I have always loved DC, and it just feels so good to have a DC movie that's like from, out now, like recently, that is good, because we've had a lot of trash in the past decade. So it's pretty nice to have this. I knew I was gonna like this. It's James Gunn. I love like all of his other superhero stuff, and it's Superman. So I was like, really, I knew I was gonna like this. I did not expect me to give it a 10 out of 10. I did not expect to have the biggest smile on my face throughout the entire movie. I did not expect to just like, it's one of those movies, everyone said this by now, but it just makes you feel good. And I think there's not enough movies like that nowadays.
Yeah, I think the performances in this movie are all excellent, especially what's his name? Especially
David
Nicholas Hoult.
Oh,
Especially Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I think he's so funny.
yep.
I think he's probably my favorite Lex Luthor on film. As much as I love Gene Hackman in the original Christopher Reeve Superman, he's very funny in that, but wow, Nicholas Hoult is amazing.
Yes, he was very funny in this. And also not just funny, but just captured the character well.
Yeah.
With that said, everyone in the cast was great. I think it's, so far, the DCU, I think, has had perfect casting. We're still very fresh into it, but yeah, it's been perfect.
I cannot wait for more. I want to see Supergirl so bad. I want to see more of Peacemaker. I love Peacemaker. Season 2 was amazing too.
Yeah, this DCU is off to such a strong start. A bit nervous now that Netflix owns Warner Bros., but I doubt they're gonna let it affect it that much.
I really hope not, because I want to see more of
Me too.
David Corenswet's Superman. He is such a great cast.
Put that man in Star Wars, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, Superman's great. It's really interesting because we've had such a great year for superhero movies. Even Marvel, which has had a lot of trash recently, had two. Both Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps were both great movies. So they did not make the list, but that can kind of segue us into our honorable mentions. So along with the two superhero movies you just mentioned, Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts, we have two movies that were released in theaters this year. However, they came out like digitally and stuff in years prior. So
Yep, so first up as an honorable mention, we have The Toxic Avenger. Well, I think this is the funniest movie from 2025. Peter Dinklage is so funny in this, and there's a scene where he sings Overkill by Motorhead. How can you not love that?
I have not seen the original Toxic Avenger, but after watching this, I've just been telling myself, yeah, I need to watch that. But yeah, Peter Dinklage is really good in this movie. I think it's his best movie, not his best role. That would still go to Tyrion Lannister, even though the writers weren't smart enough to write him in the later seasons. But that's another video, another time.
To give you an idea of how ridiculous this movie is, some of the villains are it's just a nu metal band, and there's a guy that does flips, and they dress like clowns.
I was thinking about this in the bathroom earlier, but I really want to see a movie that's like a group of like superheroes, and they're also all members of a nu metal band. I think that'd be so much fun. Yeah, no, this is hilarious. And
I guess the
genuine
closest
and
we'll
nice.
get to that. I guess the closest we'll get to that would be Queen of the Damned.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this movie also just has a nice plot too. It's nothing too like crazy or groundbreaking, but it's still good. It gets the job done. The next movie we have that's an honorable mention is Freaky Tales.
It's paced similar to Predator Killer of Killers, where there's all these different stories that converge. And the first one is about like a bunch of punks getting bullied by Nazis, so they fight back, and it's got an awesome soundtrack to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have Black Flag, and then towards the end of the movie, there's a scene with "For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica, that is probably the best use of Metallica I've ever heard in a movie.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of any other time I've heard Metallica in a movie, but I'm sure I have. But it was definitely really good, so I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, there's a scene where Tom Hanks plays a video store clerk, and he recommends a guy watch a David Cronenberg movie, and I love that. It's
Yeah,
just a good time. It's just a
it's
good
a
time.
good time. Yeah, it's a great, just like, yeah, good time. Great acting. Another great Pedro Pascal movie, who we love. So,
Yeah.
but with that said, we should move to our number one spot, which we lied. There's 11 movies on this list. Our number one spot is a tie between Frankenstein and Sinners.
Sinners. Which one do you want to talk about first?
So, one of the reasons why we ended up having this be a tie is because my favorite movie of the year is Frankenstein.
And mine is Sinners. I love Sinners so much. I love both these movies so much. They're fantastic, and I think they really do deserve the number one spot together.
Yeah, it was really like we were talking about it before recording. I was like, which one do we give number one? We're like, let's just give it to both. You know, we can have a tie. So I'll talk about Frankenstein a bit, because it was my favorite of the year. I love Guillermo del Toro. You know, before this, I saw this. I'd seen a lot of his movies. You know, The Shape of Water is, or maybe was, my favorite movie, because this might have taken its spot. But, you know, I've always loved him, and I just thought that as someone who's an aspiring filmmaker, he makes the kind of movies that I want to make. And, you know, it's not a super book accurate adaptation in terms of like the events, but he nails the themes, which in the end is infinitely more important than the events. So for that, I do think this is the best Frankenstein adaptation. I know some people aren't a fan of it. I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I think if you're as gothically inclined as us, then Frankenstein is perfect. Oh my gosh, it has such a perfect aesthetic. The production design is fantastic. Jacob Elordi in the makeup is maybe the best acting role of the year.
I think, you know, Guillermo del Toro in a few interviews mentioned that he cast people based on their eyes. And I think that is absolutely true with Jacob Elordi in this movie. He could not say a word, and I could tell everything he was thinking just by looking at his eyes. I think he 100% deserves Best Supporting Actor for this movie. It's not, I don't know if he will win it, but I think he deserves it. He's my pick, anyways.
Yeah, I love the way they did the eye makeup on him, where only one of the eyes has the orange glow to it. I know they did that because he had some kind of reaction to the makeup, and so they were forced to only do one eye, but it ended up looking so much better that way.
Yeah, I mean, the makeup was great, and of course, performance was great, definitely the best in the movie, but so was Oscar Isaacs and Mia Goths and Christoph Waltz, so like, just all around an amazing movie.
And Charles Dance.
Yep, Charles
Dance.
Dance. We love Charles Dance, and I love that he's just been typecast to play Tywin forever.
Yeah, and he does that again in this movie, and it's great. It works out perfectly.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about Frankenstein. It's a beautiful movie. We talk about it more in our Frankenstein ranking video, so I don't want to repeat too much about it, but go check that out.
Yep. And so for my number one pick of the year would be Sinners, of course, because Sinners, I think, is just such an incredible accomplishment. The amount of research that went into this movie, and it really, really shows. There's so many background details, like how Smoke and Stack were a part of two different gangs when they went to Chicago, and you can tell that by the way they dress and the alcohol that they serve. It's something that's never stated within the script of the film, but you can learn that information just based on visual details. And that's true of nearly every little thing about this movie. There's so many small details like that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those impressive things about this movie is just how well researched it was. Ryan Coogler spent so much time paying attention to every little detail, and it really pays off. You can tell that he really cared about this piece of art, and it paid off.
Yeah, I cannot imagine the amount of work that went into a production like this. Like, I know they developed an entire new camera rigging system for one of the fight scenes because there's two Michael B. Jordans.
Who deserves Best Leading Actor, by the way, for this?
Yeah, he plays two different characters, and he did both incredibly well.
I remember like watching some interviews afterwards and just being like, wait, where's the other twin? Because I just like, he did so well that I actually convinced that there was, he had a twin and there was two different actors. But yeah, it's just the one guy, and yeah, so good.
Yep, I feel like every time I hear people talk about this movie, I learn something new. People talk about the themes of how you have Remick, this vampire from Ireland, and what he represents and what he means, what it means by him coming to the juke joint. Oh, it's just so incredible. I love this movie so much.
Yeah, a really good movie. It's one of the best of the year, I would say. Just one of the best of like the past decade, probably even more. It's so good. I was thinking about this earlier today because I keep seeing like this like Facebook posts or Twitter posts where it's like, these are the best modern horror directors, and it's like Robert Eggers is there, Jordan Peele is there. Of course, both of them deserve to be there. And I honestly feel like Ryan Coogler deserves to be there, even though this is his only horror movie. It's just that good.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what he does next, if it's going to be anything like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an incredible movie. And it's a really good year for movies overall.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with our top 10. I think all these movies are excellent.
Any final thoughts from you?
I don't think so. I think that about wraps it up.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us today. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. I've been Callista.
And I've been Jacob.
See you all next time.
Bye.